40 hours in. Let's jump in. Are we still complaining unsupported GPU? Soon we'll see. There was a new update for Windows. OBS I didn't download, but for the studio driver as well. So we're checking memory add-ons because of that. It didn't actually say. There's been an update. That is really nice. Okay, now let's get the rightful game here. Chat, are we ready to rumble? No. In this game you sing songs of Edward Kendall. Freestyler! Rock the microphone! Thank you for the raid, Reaper. How was your stream? Welcome, raiders. I just started. So we aren't yet in the game. Not yet. No, this is not the real background. I'm using NVIDIA's broadcasting. Luckily. It's not this cold. But I wish it was, to be truthful. That would be really nice. I struggle with heat. I'm definitely made for something else. But welcome. Welcome, Soraka, as well. Can you give a shout out to Ripper Roach? What were you doing today? Yeah, it's actually a built-in function. I kinda like it. Here you can choose what picture to use. Of course, it's taking some power from the GPU as well. Like this Black Flag is such a new game and not that well optimized. So usually I multi-stream. That's what I try to do to YouTube and TikTok as well. With this game, no, my PC can handle. I do have a decent trick, like it's... no, not that one. Like 1.5 years old. everything. Before that, I was only streaming through a laptop. But I did start with just the phone. And thank you, Soraga. Appreciate it. I still have 3 more work days, then 3 weeks of vacation. First week will be real life streams because I'm forced to see relatives, so can't be at home. But after that, I'll be back. No, I haven't found all of the ultimate plans. Some of them, yes. I do need to find them. Because there's legendary ships that I haven't fought with.
The Spanish launched their fishing fleets from here and hang their catch by the harbor. The air reeks of iron and rot.
You mistake that smell, my good man. That is the smell of coin. And the more for us.
Okay. I can't remember where I was. I'm wanting to take that fort. But here's a legendary ship. I will just get destroyed. And 3 I have found. Here probably will be 4th or 5th as well. 3 forts. But for those, I also need to find the rest of the islands. So where I've found those ultimate plans, there have been treasure maps. 4 I haven't even found yet. Let's see. Start with the...
Let's get going.
Good. Don't see enemies.
Ease her off. Fire!
This has been like really satisfying.
Fire! Give everything she's got.
Oh, if I just don't get it. Like the mortar.
Careful, lads! Tear them apart!
Fire! Ease off the wind!
Turn around.
Fire! Give me some speed! As much sail as you can!
Now they will be hitting motors in one direction.
Fire!
Did that? No, it didn't hit. Way easier than last time. So I must have destroyed my boat. But yes, for every raider seeing me first time here,
Crowding on, all of it!
my name is Fasusasu. Variety streaming every Mondays, League Easy. No, not easy. It's called Wild Rift. I started with that game a little over 4 years ago. And I've been lucky enough to be able to afford the PC and laptop. More variety after that. Been showing a lot of hard games. Usually playing on the hardest difficulty, like here as well. Hard, this game is not that challenging. There's the whole story and ship battles that make it a wonderful game. I played some Souls games. Started with Elden Ring. remember, what was it? Last year, only Rule Souls original was the Dark Souls 2 that I played. 700 gets 74 hours. It was a lot of fun. I played all of the Assassin's Creed. He's not taking any damage.
Too slow.
Oh, he's a good.
Too slow, shipbird.
Still low. Silver bullet.
Which that, Captain? Go find the commander!
English.
All together now!
But yeah, Finnish is my accent.
Comparados con ellos, sois escoria. ¿Quiénes son tus amos, corsario? ¿Te envió el británico celoso?
Responde!
Sorry, mate. Sorry, mate. I only speak the king's.
What's happening? There's like too much damage there. But yeah, today's plan for this game is blind returns. They should have enough money and resources to upgrade. It is just finding out where those treasures are. Maps do have a coordinates, so that does ease up a lot. Here you can see, for example, the 162 and 474. Map has exact coordinates where you can find it. It's just traveling there. Thank you, Claire. What up, Chud? Appreciate it. Now you should be able to get the Assassin's Creed patch as well. I think that's still running until 2nd of August. How you do today? But yeah, they are treasure maps. What I'm trying to find out. Let's go to undiscovered location. We have a small celebration here. In sales. Some crew members back.
That's right!
Well, where is my boat? This way.
More big fish in these waters for us now, Captain.
One big difference to the first game, or the original, you can't pick up enemy weapons, and there's no fall damage if you roll right before you land. In the original, you just died.
Names out.
I did play
Clean
that
to the
on
wind.
the release, so it's some years
Get the
ago.
tops and royals down. Fast as you dare.
Yeah, the fall damage change is really weird.
Give us a shanty.
Can't deny that.
Calm her down.
Try to sail one way.
I'm not here
Takes
to...
you 2 minutes. We have a lot of bangers. I haven't found all of them yet.
Let's
Whiskey
have a
Johnny is
different one.
one of my favorites. From all the alcohol drinks, whiskey is my favorite. I'm trying to
Crowd
get
it on,
the
all of it!
voice of Kratos. Might as well when I age.
Speed, lads!
I don't know if that's gonna happen. To be honest, I'm not drinking that often at all. Last time was a long time ago. More than a few years. And the wind is crazy. Are we seeing any boats? What's up, Rich?
Faster now!
Why remove the weaponsing? That is a really good question. Like, we only have pistols. In the original, you were able to shoot with the rifles, like with the snipers.
Our force patrol these waters closely, Captain.
Calm her down!
Say the word.
Okay, here we have a fight. Let's
Fire!
mark that.
They're checking on us.
Douse all but mains!
And the fire cannons.
Fire! 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 Loose all, let's move! Douse the royals and tops! Fire!
Raising it perfect. Well, yeah, my ship is kind of nice.
More sail! We need to budge!
So strong,
Prepare to board, Milskas!
but not maxed.
Bring them in for a steely kiss!
Really? It's like a load. They did bring like a whole parry system. The original, I remember. I bought. I need just one more.
Be quicker.
One more damage and the boat is mine. How was this blue? Saw some tigers and elephants. Extra loot. Let's get that. It cost us 250.
Let's get going. For then, it was a time to die.
We're rich. I have 2,500.
Ship and they'll part like the sea. Yo, heave ho! Heave! Heave!
Did you go to Stockholm's Djurgården or? €170 for 3. I can't remember how much it cost me. I think it was $30. $30 when I went to the zoo and did a live stream there. Has it been like 2 years? I remember back then they were renovating some sites. At least here in Helsinki. Call Morden. That's at Nurture.
Get them aloft, let's go!
Actually, I haven't.
Get the
been
tops
that
and
far.
royals down! Up yards, douse
Only,
topmast
like,
sails!
within Sweden, I think I've been only to Havrand and stop.
Loosen, trim tight, ride the wind! Let's have a song then.
It's like a zoo and amusement park once. Can I ride roller coasters too?
Well
but it's
sung,
all
lads! Me thanks!
about robbery. This is like just the amusement park within a kilometer of my apartment. This is adults, €53 whole day. For kids, 43. And for evenings, starting from 6 p.m., €43. If you just want to enter the area, $5. One ride, €11. With 53, you can get 6 rides. If you want to enter, oh, okay, there's also Sea Life that you can go in. $50 for that. We do have English. Good as well. So it is even more expensive than this. Around the same guess, but gaming experience. You know, there's these, you can pull a rope or throw balls. I haven't been here in ages. Just because of the prices. 2 ride tickets and 2 game tickets. What they actually even have here. Swingy. Old roller coaster. There used to be one water ride. I don't know if you remember, but one day I was doing like there's a lot of rocks around the park. I did do one real live stream when I was drinking like next to this, just outside the facility, the whole area. I don't know. Last one I did. So if you haven't, imagine not knowing how to spell your own name. It's almost 2 years. I was in Orlando doing the world's tallest slingshot. In Finland, we don't have any. It takes you high to almost 130 meters. That's the last time we could have landed anywhere else. I'll take your mission later. Let's get the viewpoint. Hey! Let's bet the cat. If they still want it. I don't bite. Nope. Cat doesn't like us. This here will be a sea shanty. A long time ago. We... Yes. Go up. Bob, did you go to any rides or just let the kids? Kids have the fun. Most of the time, for some reason, I'm here during night times. That would be deadly. Most of the charms that you do in Assassin's Creed, you would die.
Ahoy, Captain! Need to go underground?
We can always have a drink. I feed the parrot. Most of the kid rides, but you...
I've seen drunken
You went to a
sailors
few
with more
just to get
manners than
the-
you lot.
money's worth. It could have been just to look around. Hey, another pet. Eating-
Hungry, aren't you?
Any animals in this game. Hey. Like, it's unlimited pet food that you have here. Captain Arspe, what did he do? Templar Associate, okay, that's enough. They have big targets well that we need to assassinate. First one is always within the island, and the next
The
one is
Templars have their fingers in
somewhere
everything.
else.
La tercera vez este mes.
Yo creo que debería pagar la multa. Lo dejarán en paz.
Trouble's brewing.
Okay.
Pero
Okay. elephant.
Si el viejo Tom sigue pagando, ¿qué les impide ir a por todos nosotros?
It's kind of open.
Solo pido una parte razonable. El 60%.
But you mean a whole day there, it's foods and drinks and ice cream and those are also overpriced. Yeah.
¿Quieres mantener tu negocio y a tus hijos?
What?
Pagarás
How about the
ahora.
food prices?
Muy bien, tendrás tu dinero.
More overpriced than if you would go to a festival.
The rum trade can flow freely again.
Okay, we did kill him. Like to a hockey arena. Yeah, I'm really rusty. Taking unnecessary damage. Just have it.
Almost too easy.
Burger meal 50 euros, that was not a special type, it's just the basic. Ice cream 6 euros. Here like normal burger meal start from 50. Like no, not in any events. Events they probably cost like 20. We're starting from 20. Well, we cannot have this.
You never made sense, but this is a new low.
Could it be the amount of bodies we have here? Could be the reason. The ice creams. When you go to a store here, they are like 3 euros, just from the supermarket. So just doubling that. It is pricey, but I think I don't know. I haven't been to anywhere this summer.
Even the dead can't find peace.
We are supposed to buy a drink and then we have a tavern fight these guys.
Stop! I've heard
Clean
enough.
up. What is I left? That's far away.
Old fellow, show some restraint.
Yeah, it's down here. Sheep's on the other side. There's 3 just. We can come back.
Made some work.
Later. Let's see about our crew. Or a fleet of ships. I think all of them have done their missions.
There's clearer waters now.
Oh, that almost died. Heroin. And everybody else is looted. Pressing let's enter there. I don't want to be. I want to do piracy, not trading. Okay, this area is still too dangerous. Here, good. Change your ship's outlook, outfit. Pet
Who
your
voted you in?
pet. I've chosen to have a mysterious monkey.
Oh, you're a feisty one.
We ain't able to feed him though, so I'm not sure if he's still alive. Also, our outfit, if we want. So you do have different trinkets here. What I'm using is increases the rewards from floating loots. And I'm just loading everything. Don't need to press a button. I prefer this Captain Morgan outfit. We do have others. This is... is it this? This one you get if you buy the deluxe edition. This one, after doing some missions, getting all the Templar keys. But we are not a Templar. We are a pirate. This is from a mission as well. You can find this. And yeah, you can actually find this quite early into the game, Captain Morgans. We don't need the hood. Let's see. How far is this assassination country?
No use wallowing about here.
Let's catch some wind, lads.
Okay, 3 more days.
Trim as near the wind as you dare.
Catching the wind!
A lot of meetings. Since like the rest of the
Give us a
rest of the
shanty.
people are coming from their vacations.
Give everything she's got.
Need to tell them what has been done or what must be done when I'm away. I don't have any plans. Hopefully, like, it's actually been raining a lot. Like the past 4 weeks. Mostly just rain. Let's go from this side.
Calm her down.
Stop it off.
All sail! She'll take it! Toast the gallants and royals!
That was easy.
Let the
I use this one to repair my boat.
Bring them in for a steely
But again, not we do need to. And repair the ship. It was only a brick. There's no extra loot available. And again.
Up the shrouds, lads! We sail! Faster now! Ease up!
Fleet has returned.
Reef mains, douse topsails!
Topsails in! Crew up!
Full sail! Crowd it all!
Check those royals! The fleet are back.
Shanty!
Oh, loot. On both sides.
Ease off! Bring in some sail!
We are taking some water in. I don't know what that one crew member
Get them
is.
aloft, let's go! Crowd it on, all of it!
Lay down from aloft!
Catch the wind.
Fast as you dare!
Benjamin.
Royal bloody Navy! King George has come!
They are fighting against each other. Do I have that? It does have a Spanish flag. Let's try harpooning before it turns into speed well. We can do it. Harpoon strength, like harpoon strength, boat strength. The amount of harpoon is maxed.
Hold tight there!
But I'm still not dealing with that much damage.
He's gone!
Maybe it's this difficulty.
Stay sharp, lads!
I can't take two hits from this whale. Just destroy.
Watch out!
Perfect. Interruption.
Hang on! We're off!
Yes! Watch for the tail! These dogs hit! He's off!
When you say that,
He's pulled the rope!
okay. Halfway there.
Anyone hear that?
Where are you? This is a bit controversial, but back in these days.
Steady!
Got it!
Yeah, there you see, I took a hit from the whale and almost destroyed. It's not a perfect.
Keep an eye out for that fin!
Sighted off the larboard bow!
Got you now, fish! Steady now, lads!
Grand shot, Captain! The tail's going to hit her! Harpoons are almost down!
We've got him now.
Oh, 2 harpoons left. But we got him. Now our crew can eat for a month.
A fine hold today, sir.
Back to the island.
Loose all sail! Faster now!
Randy dandy. What would you like to see over my vacation? Yeah, when there's a storm, you cannot have the travel sails on and your crew does not. Scared.
A song!
Farewell and adieu.
Fast as you dare!
Spanish ladies, farewell and adieu. To your ladies of Spain.
I need to sail on the
We
other side.
received orders for to sail for old England, and we may never see you, fair ladies, again. We'll rant and we'll roar like true raiders. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the South Seas until we strike sound into the channel of old England. We hove our ship to with the wind from southwest. We hove our ship to deep down east.
You have ideas.
45 fathoms with a white sandy bottom. So we squared our main yard.
Really, it's totally on the other side.
We ran
Ay, 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 ay. Let's do this. Should have zoomed in within the map. Oh, it's this place. This was a part of a main quest. Yeah, let's use this route.
Registrad cada centímetro de este lugar.
Got him.
No dejéis piedras sin alzar ni arbustos sin remover. El tesoro podría estar en cualquier parte.
He's dealt with.
¡No tomaré contigo, Celino!
There's that one sniper that I'm most scared of. Don't want to get shot.
¡Rápido! ¡Se está escapando!
¡Allí está!
No! That is called greedy. Greediness, and it costs you. Just a moment. Then we will try to assassinate again. Okay, we are not too far off. Here are it fast traveling. Did you see any? Like, I didn't notice any explosives. We still have like it will give you like extra 50 bucks. So that is like a no.
Registrad cada centímetro de este lugar. No dejéis piedras sin alzar ni arbustos sin remover. El tesoro podría estar en cualquier parte.
He's a sniper who's shooting at me. What is going on? Such a clean assassination. Just hey, if they come close here. Not bad. Oh. Okay. Really like the rope. Where do we have more enemies? Let's confirm it.
The dead can rest.
Explosive didn't deal enough damage. And no, you should not do anything bad for her. Did we have a pet option? No, we have feed. I'll take it. There sun noise. Now let's get back to the boat. We have a storm around us. Main quest would be diving for medicines. No. Maps. 487.11. 487.11. Was it really? 487.11. Why that? Maybe I haven't been far enough. Or it's just 11. What did I mark? 10. Oh, that's like... Can we even get there? Probably not yet. Okay, next. Next map. 5090 to 45. Okay, it's gonna be there. What is the closest? Oh, we are not too far off. Say this.
Get them aloft, let's go! Loosen, trim tight, ride the wind!
Let's ride the squall!
Not the good.
Full sail! Crowd it all!
Nope. Storm is outside.
Batten down the hatches!
Straight into the typhoon. I went through it.
Unreef the mains! Loose all sail!
Okay, game didn't save us too far away. That was actually the first time I got hit. Okay.
Nasty weather building, Captain.
There's a ship fight. Yeah, let's see if we can survive this.
Speed, lads!
Onward, lads! Fortune reckons!
We did take a little bit of damage.
Ease her off!
Do we want to fight versus 4 ships? Like the idea, even though the odds are not against us. Trying to get treasure chests.
Fast as you dare.
Well, it seems there was a great demand for sailors. For the colonies, for Frisco and for France. Well, the ships aboard the limey bark and got legless drunk on my advance. How do they back? Take in your time. Take the turn around the captain, heave a fall.
Okay, these guys are fighting against each other. Get
Speed, lads!
Let's repair our boat with this.
Calm her down! Run them down!
Sight.
Fire!
They still want one.
Trim as near the wind as you dare. Clew up foremast rig. Rouse those gallants. Haul! Haul!
The waves are not looking too nice.
Grappling hooks away. Let's to the prize.
One explosives. Almost. Didn't even need to get up our. Let's repair the boat. Little sailing boat.
Give me more sail. I know she's a good sailor. Now prove it, my trump.
May they receive eternal peace.
Faster now.
Wind behind us.
Another harpoon spot.
Shanty.
I can buy all the skins already. Hides. Carcasses. Map would show which secret shooters.
Give everything she's got.
There's a man of war. Are they truly trying to fight us? Not a man of war. It's a convoy. Very good. I have my eyes on this. Smuggler's Den. And the treasure chest.
Ease her off.
Grease the topsails and gallants! Tops! Gallants! Royals! Studs!
Calm her down.
Douse all but mains!
Sail off and bring in those royals, now!
They gave up. Let's see. Are we gonna land on... Nope. There's the gate.
The chest must be somewhere back there.
You would think here have some kind of chest. I'm looking at my... That's not good. First shark we saw underwater, by the way. We're gonna die. Edward! Okay, we're supposed to dive back in. Is that a way I just came? This is like new territory. Okay, no worry. No idea what we have at this point. How many more sharks? Okay. Where are you?
You lied. We're trapped. Perro inútil, ¿cómo salimos a...?
This treasure is mine now.
You bastard!
Not good enough.
Have a grenade, lad!
Grenade gun.
The treasure weren't a lie at all.
Okay, I don't know what happened to the camera. Somehow, like, Edward lost some height. Or maybe it's just his gay. Feels like he's way closer. I'm not sure if they can even, like, dig here. Where is this buried treasure? There is a block.
This place looks familiar.
That's where I got up. And there our character just told us. Looks familiar, so we have seen this. You know, now just finding the spot. Like this looks like there could be a treasure. We're supposed to get a dig button or prompt. Right now I'm not getting it. Wrong button. And not the bay. 50, 90 to 45. $77 meters that way. And the chest is 55 that way. You can't go through.
I've seen this place.
I'm like 100 meters away from that. Get to the water, kind of a. Then we dive. Somehow, like the whole controls for this part Annoying. We're getting closer to this. What the hell? It's the shark. We had air behind us. Then somehow find that one. This is taken to the left. Now I'm like outside this. It's 104. Maybe it's through the buildings. I had like 3 more days of work left. How do you do it? I want to get up there. Little drink. And this is just for speed. Well, first we come forced to go to see relatives. Okay. It is somehow. Where the hell are you from? Last time I just stumbled upon the entrance. So bit of a tougher time. straight into a look. Come. Let's not suffocate here. But yeah, no other plans for the rest of the vacation. We're forced to go up. Enter here. Did I miss like another? Path here then. Must have. It's like 85 what it shows. Now we are back here. And like the camera is so fucked here. There is upstairs. For some reason we cannot jump onto that. Okay, this is like a fake upstairs. Yeah. And so is that. Is there like a cave here that I'm just too blind to see? Because we cannot dive there. Cannot dive here. Is that supposed to be blocked? Is that like the only path?
This place looks familiar.
Like there's two blocked paths. How's the grass been for you? Hopefully not too ticklish. Not too tickling. Like it even shows up.
If it's buried, it must have worth.
Be blind. "70 meters higher, and that's how we get out of here." Okay. I think I'm being stupid. Let's fix that. Another bay. I'm just so blind.
It's somewhere here.
I was on top of it.
Tasty.
What did we get? Crimson Cloak. Ah. Unfortunately, not an ultimate blade. I'll take it. What's the next map? I want all the ultimate blades. Actually have devastating power. Check. Currently, if I remember right, just a harpoon and then like ammunitions. Which is not enough.
Less risk now.
Yeah, like whole camera seems to be kind of weird. After being on the dome. Okay. Trinidad did take some damage. This is still having a risk. Piracy. You're very good. I don't know what I did to cam. Why it likes to... The angles are really weird. Do I need to like boot the game or what? Something happened to the angles. $534 or $510. $534 or $510. Must be here. Chigi. I've only like
Another bottle with a letter.
it is not a treasure map, it is a lore. Let's see. My deepening predicament. It is with deep sadness I should now relate the genesis of my feeling of great isolation from my parents, even at so young age, and my powerful sense that I was too much different from them. Meaning that, though they had born me and raised me, I seemed not their issue, nor of their kind. And the reverie described previously cast this feeling in a firmer mold. I seemed not to be of this world at all. Indeed, there were days when I felt not remotely human at all, but of an other kind of creature entire. Between the time of my youth year and my 14, I was given to such a profusion of reveries and ideas and dreams that I should sound mad to describe them. Yet by outward appearance I was as normal as any lad, and further was never particular of great cities made of glass, portraits of beautiful men and women in great flowing robes, machines that generated lightning as easily as thunderclouds, vehicles that flew in the skies as birds. As I say, ideas and visions too fanciful to be entertained by any sane minds, yet all too real in my head to be. The sage was going crazy. I have been to this island. Not taken the chest. How's that possible? I must have sailed past this.
Oh, now what? Hey, I'm not done with you! You'll not be losing me, maggot!
Let's say, it's a nice try. He's too far. Which doesn't make sense, but yeah, it's okay.
Where have I seen this? Won't take long.
I wish I was.
I do like buried treasure.
There's the treasure. Good.
Try this!
Didn't touch us. Oh, it's right in where the chest is as well.
If it's buried, it must have...
Ultimate plan, please! What do you behold? Really? A guitar and some money. Well, that sucks. There we have the local white flag here.
That was class.
What is our next location? Both are like 11, but one 113. Yeah, I don't yet like have access to these places. They go like almost out of the map. Okay, quest time then. Let's see what they want to talk in Nassau. Main quest.
Another?
A rum flip this time.
And where'd I find fresh eggs in this wretched town? There's little else but piss and insects.
Aye, we're working on that.
Dear lady, what do they call you?
And when they're sober, a jilt when they're sauced, but never lady.
Well, good Leanne, oh, no, bollocks.
It's a little sauce.
Bag of shite! Do you hear me? It's a bag of bloody shite! It's a ruse to keep us soft before they attack Nassau. You'll see, mark me.
It's no ruse, Fiend. I heard it straight from the mouth of a greasy Bermudan captain. There's a pardon on offer for any pirate that wants it.
Ruse or no, I think it's plain the British may return to Nassau with arms, no doubt. We'll need a plan.
Walk with us, Kenway. There's trouble brewing.
In the absence of any clear ideas, I say we lay low. No piracies and no violence. Do nothing to ruffle the king's feathers for now.
Preserving the king's plumage is no concern of mine, Ben.
I
It will
swear.
be when he sends his soldiers to scrub this island clean of our residue. Look around you, man. Is
Camera
this
angles is
cesspool worth dying for?
piss off.
Aye! It's our republic. Our idea. A free land for free men, remember? So maybe it's filthy to look at. But ain't it still an idea worth fighting for?
I can't be sure. But when I look on the fruits of our years of labor, all I see is sickness, idleness, idiocy.
Not a sunbeam of difference between here and London then, eh?
Thatch is right, man. Taking a wide view, we're not doing so bad out here. There's sun, rum, and leisure as far as the eye can see.
Aye, Nassau may look fine from a distance, but at its core, there's a disease I cannot stomach.
Sickness can be cured, Ben. If only you have the right medicine.
But a corpse cannot be reanimated.
I can't believe the shite I'm hearing drop from your lips. Why not take the pardon now and be done with it?
Peace, both of you. We can satisfy both aims if we work together. Find medicines to ease our burdens here, but in a way that don't attract the British.
I wager the nearest
But the
doctor is sitting pretty in Havana.
politician with
Not a
impact.
place I mean to go.
And the Spanish fleet that sunk 2 years back would have some medicine. All sealed up in glass vials.
You'd need a diving bell to reach those depths.
Aye, and with some coin and a few supplies, a diving bell won't be hard to come by.
This is a plan I can stand behind. Find medicines without stirring up trouble. Agreed, Thatch?
Agreed. Aye. I'll meet you near the wrecks as soon as you're able, Kenway.
Remember, Thatch, keep your cannons corked.
Piss off, Ben!
A diving bell would cost a pretty penny. Ade might know another way.
Yeah, why buy it when we can? We can just take it.
for every pirate in Nassau. This is freedom.
Maybe I'm just so used to playing the Indocom Deliverance first person.
Edward, is there any news?
Saw you chewing the fat with Hornigold and Thatch. Rather heated, it seems.
Nah, not so bad as that. We're only dreaming up remedies for keeping Nassau in tip-top shape.
Any good ones?
Aye. The best of them being we purchase ourselves a diving bell, and then go diving for medicines off the Florida coast.
It's a long shot, that one.
Might be. But think on what else we might find with a diving bell on the jackdaw.
A fair point. There's a camp of freebooters in the south of Nassau, all of them taking the pardon.
There's no accounting for cowardice, is there?
I heard tell that they just came into possession of a bell themselves.
Did they? Well, with them taking the pardon, they won't be needing that.
I'm thinking the same.
Let's go get ourselves a
I
diving
don't think
bell.
we're going to get much of a welcome.
That's all right, mate. It's not a friendly visit.
and 409.
Up the shrouds, lads! We sail! Loosen, trim tight, ride the wind!
Give us a song, lads.
Faster now!
Bow down, 'tis here the yeomen say, hurrah, me boys, we're homeward bound. We're homeward bound to Liverpool town. Goodbye, fare ye well.
We're catching the wind now!
Where all of them duties they will come down. Hurrah, me boys,
they're Spanish, sir!
And when we get to
I think I have a trinket that will make us breathe longer.
Sally and Polly for the flashmen do wait.
Let's do well with the diving bell.
And one to the other will hear them say, goodbye, fare ye well, goodbye, fare ye well. Oh, here he comes Johnny with what he must pay. Hurrah, me boys,
stalks.
Okay, we can stop here.
Let the anchor go!
Suspiciously easy. There is a bell.
The whole thing was a fool's fantasy. Look at Nassau now. Naught but piss, palsy.
Cleave your cuckles! Take your head!
Keep up!
Cut you up!
Now I can just take it, but I also see some more. Oh, we got the bell. I'm restarted the pirate back.
This'll do. Thatch will be wondering where I am.
Where's the damned key?
Use the toilet. So now we have diving bell. There's the with the key.
What? Charge! That's the warehouse.
Since we are here, why not help the place? There's still one shooting at me. Let's go. No, the warehouse is mine. They do have like a, what was it, 1 hour, 2 hour cooldown. Some sugar and wine.
What might you be requiring?
Let me show the upgrades. Okay, diving bell is just already maxed. You just unlock it. But yeah, everything missing a ultimate plan. And the rest of the treasures unaccessible.
Excellent.
Nope. Misclick.
Well
Exit,
concluded.
get on board. And see.
The bell is prepared and below deck. It's in good repair, I reckon. Better than I expected.
Let's hope for no surprises when we use it.
Aim's out. Trim to the wind.
Those bars free! Let's see that dock!
Yeah, not too far.
Stunstones! Use all the wind you can! Raise your voices, me trumps!
Rolling boys.
We're scraping ground! What's the keel line?
It's a break! Spaniards! That's the line!
Fast as you dare!
It's a fair wind day.
What? Why there's some... Oh, it's an island. First look was that those would be ships.
She's lovely on the foreyard, she's lovely down below, boys. She's lovely cause she loves me, that's all
There's a
I want
path
to
for
know.
us.
Oh, Captain Baker, how do you store your cargo? Some I stow forward and some I stow aft. 40 fathoms or more below, boys.
I've done those burning ships.
Way high and up the
Kinda just need the... Like really the ultimate plus. Otherwise we are full with resources.
Sir, to full!
One more pull, don't you hear the mate about back?
Faster now!
One more pull, that's the end of our haul. Charlie Brown, she's the gal for me, boys.
See, there are no medicines now.
Then we're out of options, mate.
I don't expect the others will be happy to hear it.
Aye. And who knows what Thatch would do? The man's wound tighter than a mainspring already. Best not to think on it.
I thought I heard the old man say, leave her, John, leave her. Tomorrow ye will get your pay, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her.
There's our friend's boat.
For the voyage is long and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her. For the wind was foul and the sea ran high. Leave her, Johnny, leave her.
Okay, it's just getting closer soon enough.
Devil in his hole, Thatch. This is a darling galley. 32 guns, is it?
I lost count at 40.
You've stepped up a rung. So, any luck finding medicines here?
Nothing round this spot, sadly. But there's a few wrecks yonder that ain't been scoured by nothing but crabs and coral.
I'll have a look.
Edward? Edward, is that you? My goodness, the West Indies is a compact place.
Hello, Bonnet. A surprise seeing you out here?
I met Mr. Thatcher a month or so ago, and he offered to take me under his yardarms, so to speak. Says I must wash the hayseed from my hair before I'm a true pirate.
Well, good luck to you then. Worse men have become better under Blackbeard's watch. Take us off the wind!
Anchor away!
Put on some sail! Full sail! Crowd it all!
Strike the cap!
Let's see what we can find now here. we have something. We have just the average loot. Seven chests. So there must be more like around. Further in there. Over the hatch. One bottle of medicine. Someone else is diving. They didn't survive. Solar Earth. One chest, two chests. More chests. There's another shot. We are like back in here. That is another diving bell. I'm just looking at the amount of air. Where can we get more? There's one up there as well. Let's not be sharp. Wait. So now we will be at Blackbird's boat.
Ahoy! Any luck? I found one crate hidden beneath a school of sharks. Sadly, the elixir inside is quite spoilt.
Plague and perish. Will we steal medicines now?
Well, remember the pardon, Thatch. We're to be subtle.
Says Ornagold, a pirate, now too proud to call himself one.
He prefers caution to cannons.
Caution's nothing without charisma. Or if a man plays the fool, then it's only fools he'll persuade, but appear to be the devil. And all men will submit.
And would you be the devil?
For an audience. Aye. It's all a big show. Give your quarry something to fear. Some hellish thing from a fevered dream. And men will drop to their knees, pleading for their lord before all else.
Oh, God. It looks fine.
Of course it does.
Would have been really scary to actually
You can find a quiet way
see him
to
in real life.
acquire medicines. Tell me soon. Otherwise, I'll handle it myself.
We need to get to that medicine.
And if the medicine can't be found, what then?
We keep looking. Catch me some wind. Crowd it on, all of it.
Can we find something more of a secret? We are here. Oh, one's just missing. Really? What about this Florida location? I swear that data mark has respawned. Oh. Oh, okay. That was high enough to lose some health.
Another strange place for a camp.
Campsite letter, my dear sweet Jane. I've been days without water and can't move on account of my legs. It looks like I'm done for. I lost your precious locket in the water. Forgive me forever.
To my wife in Havana, a gold locket.
Rest and replaced. I woke some days hence in a bustling native village, in the presence of that same man, many leagues from where I had called my home. A native himself, with a strong and serious but gentle face. He named himself Bottom, and bade me not be frightened. Strangely, I was not, for his demeanor was calm and his words were kind. I asked him why he had called me to this place. His surprise seemed genuine, and he told me, "You are a sage. Your face tells it plain. Your eyes most of all." I didn't know what to make of this suggestion. He went on, "You are but one of a long lineage of identical men born outside their original. Your likeness and your soul are a pattern. Repeated through the ages. Oftentimes a century or more passes without appearance of a sage. Other times two are born in the same decade, you know not why. He dashed my brains, but all he spoke was known to me in some instinctive way, and yet it frightened me all the same. How could it be that I was a man reborn? How could it be that I had already lived one life and had loved through a second, still pondering the first? I spent many a day with this man, Bahram, and in that time he told me all he knew and asked questions of his own. I might answer. I think I was lucky here. And we load up this island. There's no chests. Really weird if I shoot crystals. Let's continue with the main story then. It's not that far, let's see.
Unreef the mains!
Just need to turn around.
More sail! We need to budge!
Out on all the sail we have!
Let's have a song then.
Farewell and adieu to you, Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu to you, ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail for old.
The strong wind will tear sheet from mast!
We'll rant and we'll roar like true Resynced. We'll rant and we'll roar all
It's not just a little
until we strike
crosswind.
to the channel of old England. From ocean to the seas, 35 leagues. We hove our ship to with the wind from southwest. We hold our ship to deep soundings to take
Schooner,
just
fire rigging!
45 fathoms with a white sandy bottom. So we squared our main yard and up channel did steer. We ran
Spaniards! They're not allowed! Ahead, sir!
For some reason we cannot open the travel service. Because we can sink, so it's not a storm.
Let every man drink off his full bumper.
Cargo adrift there, sir!
Every man drink off his full glass. We'll drink and be jolly and drown melancholy. And here's to the health of each true-hearted lass. We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt sea until we strike soundings in a channel of old England. From us at the city.
We are full of crew, but let's rescue her. He can be shark bait.
Fleet has returned.
A lot of prelude, just... that whale disappeared after jumping. It never landed.
Take the wheel.
So you could also have auto sailing. Just go.
Ready, boys? Tom, mate, was Duckety went below to take a swig at his bottle. So early in the morning, the sailor likes his bottle. The bottle, the bottle, the sailor loves his bottle. So early in the morning, the sailor likes his bottle. A bottle of rum, a bottle of gin, a bottle of Irish whiskey. Oh, so early in the morning. The sailor loves his baccio. So early in the morning, the sailor likes his bottle. A packet of shag, a packet of coke, a plug, a hard tobacco. So early in the morning, the sailor likes his bottle. A lassie's oh, the maidens oh, the sailor loves the Judies oh. So early in the morning, the sailor likes his bottle. A lass from the pool, a gal from the tide, a travel so fine and dandy ho. So early in the morning.
Have you yet found your favorite song of sea shanty?
A sing-song, oh, a sing-song, oh, the sailor likes a sing-song, oh. So early in the morning.
So early in the morning.
A drinking song, a song of love, until you'll see the ship is so early in the morning. The sailor likes his Babylon.
Who's feeling lucky?
Oh, Renzo was no sailor. Renzo, boys, Renzo. He was just a station tailor. Renzo, boys, Renzo. He was pressed on board a whaler. Renzo, boys, Renzo. Where he was a hopeless failure. Renzo, boys, Renzo. The captain gave him
I don't know how I feel about this autopath.
his daughter begged for mercy. Renzo, boys, Renzo. She
Will we get automatically attacked as well if we are too far? Or too close?
She gave him cake and water. Renzo, boys, Renzo, and a bit more than she bought her. Renzo, boys, Renzo, she gave him rum and whiskey. Renzo, boys, Renzo, which got him spry and crisp.
Is Renzo last name on a trick or a drink?
She taught him navigation. Renzo, boys, Renzo, that cursed occupation. Renzo, boys, Renzo, now Renzo is a captain. Renzo, boys, Renzo, but he cannot find the captain. Renzo, boys, Renzo, he's known wherever he is gone. And we was picking up plastic.
2,000 meters. We're definitely taking.
Spanish colors coming! They're low, sir! Coming! I met the finest ram, sir, that ever was fed up all day.
There are small boats.
This ram and I got drunk, sir, as drunk with me. And when we sobered up, sir, we were far away out at sea. That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie. It's wonderful, oh ram, sir, was playful as a kid. It's poured on the captain's spyglass along with the bosom speed. That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, lie, lie. Tonight was very rough, sir, the wind like ice did feel. He borrowed me suit of oilskins and taught me trick at the wheel. That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, lie, lie.
That Thailand. That was one of the first islands. So
but halfway up he lost his nerve, he had an awful fright. That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, lie, lie. One morning on the poop, sir, a four-eight elf was struck. He climbed up to the sky's yard and sat down on the truck. That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, lie, lie. Ah, this wonderful O'Bram, sir, he tried a silly trick. He tried to jump the 5 buffets and landed in a rick. That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, lie, lie. This wonderful O'Bram, sir, he grew to all
They're Spanish, sir!
One grew out of his shoulder blade, the other turned into a mast. That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie. Jack crew of the good ship Jack, oh, his handsome, long and brave. The finest crowd of sailors that ever sailed over the waves. That's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie, lie, lie.
we are getting close.
As I rolled out one morning, away you go,
English versus Spanish. Are they trying to get over Spanish? That was really close.
Ben's given up privateering altogether and is now a shipwright.
Can't say it's a safer job, Captain.
Shorten sail!
Let's hear the story.
What the hell's happened here? Were you attacked?
Other way round. It were Blackbeard who struck first. Opened fire on a British man-of-war, the pillock.
What in God's name for?
Still searching for medicines, but he's gone barmy if you ask me.
I'll bring him home.
Leave him, man. He's heaped this trouble on himself.
Stunstones! Use all the wind you
Queen
can!
Anne's Revenge.
Man the helm.
Or we're just gonna sing here.
Captain, there's a wreck yonder. Looks recent.
Well, let's hope it's not Thatch and his Queen Anne.
Spanish colors, come in!
It's only a prank.
Another bit of wreckage, Captain. This is looking grim.
No, Thatch would not have sunk so easy. Blast. This is getting well out of hand.
A dozen crates of medicine should not be so hard to come by.
That ain't my meaning. It's Thatch and Hornigold in this pointless feud of theirs. Can't you feel it?
I do, aye. But both men have their hearts in a good place.
Blackbeard's heart is sunk deep in a stubborn trench, and Hornigold's is pining for the king's favor.
Both want the best for the people of Nassau.
But is that the best course for us? Saving a city that ain't worth much? We're not men made to govern.
We have our
take
own
or
island
spend and
already.
live heartily wherever we go.
What solution would you propose?
The answer's in wealth and power, not politics. If we found the observatory, we'd see enough money to buy the whole of England. Or it might be we'd lord over these kings and emperors like they was peasants themselves.
A lot of large talk, Captain. But is it your crew you sail for, or yourself?
I mean the best for these men, Ade, I do. But this don't sit right. I feel like I'm running errands, not living my life.
Queen Anne's revenge.
More sail! We need to budge!
Fall aloft! Man your sheets!
Ade, see there!
It's the Queen Anne, Captain! And she's in a bad way!
There's no time for a vote. Thatch is outnumbered.
The crew will understand. Beat the quarters, lads! We're sailing into hell!
Of a friendly schooner. So, let's see.
Floater here, sir! Think he survived?
Larboard, sir!
Shooting at them.
Thatch is overwhelmed. I'm going ashore.
I'll keep the jackdaw circling.
Catch the sea!
Let's keep melee help them.
Blackbeard! What devilry have you stirred up this time?
Edward! Come to join in the revelry!
Hang in there, Bonnet. Keep your arms up and your back to the sea.
In all your book learning, prepare you for a scuffle sword, Mr. Bonnet!
Not in the least, no.
You're sure
A ship's coming our way and bringing more soldiers with it.
I know that. Have to buy a bloody red shirt, make a red
You stirred up a nest of trouble, Thatch.
Will be a lot of enemies.
Medicines, I hope you mean.
A galleon nearby, and if we crack these lobsters, we might catch up.
Got you.
You are fine.
You don't do nothing subtle, do you, Thatch?
We were
Legends
just waiting
ain't
for one.
born from mildness.
Gentlemen, Our galleon has reappeared!
Heads up!
Oh no. The man of war is coming back.
Mortars! Look sharp!
Back to my ship, quick as you please. She'll not slip away now.
Oh, this is too much!
We get to be the captain here.
Jackdaw when the smoke is cleared. But for now, I need a helmsman.
Call it out!
Listen all! Edward Kenway has the helm, and we're getting up close to these barnacles. I want to pucker my lips and kiss that filthy man. Loose the mains, and head straight for that bloody ship. We'll have our actions in little time at all. Pull her out of your sight. Bear down on her, Kenway.
Remember what we're here for, Thatch. The medicine.
Okay, they had a plan.
All in the stunsails! Toss! Challenge! Wiles! Studs! Fire! Fire! Fire!
Keep those cannons ablaze till she falls! We're short on powder, Captain! Blast! The cannons on the south!
I'm seeing the devil you promised, Thatch.
But there's no going back now! So ram that bastard! With all the wind you've got!
Oh no.
Fire! Fire! Brace yourself!
Not good. We got hit. Hit them badly. Round 2. We don't have mortars on this boat. That's the biggest difference. Better check that. Okay, it's not too far.
Blackbeard! What devilry have you stirred up this time?
Come to join in the revelries!
Your last mistake, mate!
Some aid here! Edward, please!
Hang in there, Bonnet! Keep your arms up and your back to the sea!
Know your book learning! There you for a scuffle of this sort, Mr. Bonnet!
A ship's coming our way and bringing more soldiers with it! Stirred up a nest of trouble, Thatch.
In service of a noble cause!
Medicines, I hope you mean.
Aye! A galleon nearby! And if we crack these lobsters quick, we might catch up! For certain, there's more to be learned by doing than reading. Remember that!
Now we dance!
Slush. Is there the one sad one coming?
You don't do nothing subtle, do you, Thatch?
Legends ain't born from mildness.
Gentlemen, our galleon has reappeared.
Heads up!
Okay, this time let's take it into.
Back to my ship, quick as you please. She'll not slip away now.
Oh, this is too much!
I'll see you back to your jackdaw when the smoke is clear. But for now, I need a helmsman.
Call it out!
Listen all! Edward Kenway has the helm, and we're getting up close to these barnacles. I want to pucker my lips and kiss that filthy bow. Loose the mains, and head straight for that bloody ship. We'll have our mentions in no time at all. So where are your sights? Tear down on our Kenway. Come on, lads! Give them hell! Send that tongue!
Okay, we're actually dealing with
Remember
this.
what we're here for, Thatch.
May the devil down those that stand it up. Keep those cannons ablaze till she falls!
Way better.
Lads! Stand on the hell! Find the captain and end this.
Boarding the pip. Okay. That didn't go well.
This is what happens when you're in my sight, sweetheart. Get back in!
Damn you. We'll stretch your necks at the...
I'm not a man accustomed to murder, Captain. If you'd taken quarter, you'd not be seeping now.
Sack a muzzle, gobshite. You'll be hanged and sun-dried just as them there were in Boston.
The King's called for a pardon.
Captain, we've searched the hold. It's a middling take, but the medicine we found bears a Charlestown stamp.
Medicine?
Thank you,
That's
Mr.
what we were
Hans.
after.
We cannot resupply Nassau out here by force and accident alone. We should go to Charlestown for the lot.
Hello? Are we victorious? I fear I am not built for the fatigue and care required to live as a man of fortune.
Meet me in Charlestown. 1 month from today.
Okay. How far? 9,000. We can fast travel from Nassau.
No use wallowing about here. Crowd in
Let's
on,
go,
all of
ladies.
it.
We have the wind at our back!
All right, Jack, sing!
Hey, boys! Ho, ho, just hear the old man say...
Speed, lad!
Okay, now I can have the travel cells. I don't know. Maybe it was just part of the quest.
I roll and go. Oh, where am I to go, me Johnny? Oh, where am I to go?
I don't know.
The young sailor boy, and where am I to go? Oh, way up on that Spanish colors coming!
Are you getting seasick?
I roll and go. Oh, way up on that gallant yard.
Irish, Scottish. We are actually in a way Scottish. But like many of the immigrants who came to America during this time and even later, like there was not enough food and job opportunities in Ireland.
Farewell and adieu to you,
So they traveled.
Farewell and adieu to your
Tried to find better life.
For we received orders for to sail for old England, and we may never see you, fair ladies.
So there was a lot of
We'll rant and
Irishmen as seamen.
like true British sailors. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt seas until we strike soundings in the channel of old England. Vamos and to
Faster now!
There, the Revenge. She's anchored.
Aye. I hope Thatcher's good news.
Charlestown. I think I am. We haven't been there.
Heyo, Bonnet! Flying your own flag at last!
Yes. Yes, Blackbeard cut me loose, sadly. Time to have a go at this myself.
Well, that's grand.
Will
Yes,
he
it's for the best,
survive?
I think. I should have some wild stories when next we meet. Edward! Your constant friendship has been my most treasured find on these seas. Well above gold and silver and rum, I prize the courage you have inspired in me this year. Thank you, sir. A fair good morrow to you.
Don't take a too big bite. Put it.
Are you not loved, home? Are you not wanted by your wives and families and countrymen? How else to explain your government's complete disinterest in your well-being?
Blackbeard is going crazy.
Hostages!
He wants answers.
For medicines! These were my only terms.
He wants to save Nassau, whatever it takes.
6 days of pure fucking
Nothing.
silence.
No silence.
So I must conclude that you men are the pariahs of Charlestown, and I would profit better by using your organs for chum and your bones for char. By Christ! This is my predicament. To kill you, or to press you into my service. It's a decision I'll make hardly, but not with remorse. Ahoy, Edward.
What the hell are you doing, man? All of Charleston can see this mess.
The idea. Out of range, but well in sight.
So where's the medicine?
We sent a party ashore to partner with the governor. That were a week ago. No noise since.
I'll handle it. Give me a day.
We are
There's
getting to
movement up
trust
ahead.
him.
Is it soldiers?
Aye, and in something of a hurry. I propose we follow, else they spring something we ain't ready for.
What's your thinking?
Blackbeard's been at this 8 days already. So it's a good bet someone out there has prepared the medicines, just in case.
Ah, but they're stalling. Thinking up ways to avoid paying it out.
Aye, so let's find where they've gathered and hope for the best.
Softly now.
Some of the things are like locked behind quests.
It'll be a bloody miracle if we ain't spotted.
What's the captain thinking? If this fog shifts, we'll have nowhere to turn.
Those watchtowers are unmanned.
The Jackdaw's got no business sailing such shallow waters.
We should go no closer.
I truly do not remember the lore or the story of this game. This feels like Red Dead Redemption. We are
careful with the banks. This must be their outpost. We cannot pass them undetected, Captain. And there is no other way.
There's always another way.
Oh, I'm stealthy.
All stop!
We go.
Didn't know you had such sympathy for pirates.
Sympathy for me own neck, more like. I say, let him have his prize and be on his merry way.
You're a credit to the British Army.
That'll keep things quiet.
I'll have your liver out, mate. I order you to halt! Get used to that. There you are!
Well, sabotage, they cannot call for reinforcements.
Wheel
back
is
on
yours,
board.
Captain. I see them. Over there.
This ship's built for the open ocean, not stalking bayous.
Let us hope the river remains this wide. If we run aground here, we may never get out.
Better sailor stays hidden. It's really
Steady as she goes, Captain. Be sure they don't spy us trailing them.
really weird that they ain't seeing us.
They've docked and gone deeper into the bog. They're getting away, Captain.
These shallows will rip us apart.
This is as far as she'll go, Captain.
Then I'll have to go on without her. I'll be back with the medicines.
Aye, sir.
Let's see.
Blast. So I did.
A bloody rowboat.
Come on, then. The captain's waiting. Speed it up now. Can't be late.
Oh, there was a crocodile.
Pirates aren't worth the trouble. The captain has given the order. If heat or the reptiles don't finish us, it'll be these damnable insects.
Aye. The mosquitoes will suck every last ounce of vitality from us. You think it's true what they say about Blackbeard? That fire strikes out from his head, as if from some volcano.
If he's not the devil himself, then surely he's made some pact with hell. Only be thankful his ship remains anchored and hasn't torn apart into the heart of Charlestown.
Bloody pirates. Someone ought to do something.
Well, they'll be hunted down eventually. Every last one of them.
Oh, they're like waiting for me.
Two old gators come for their supper.
Right, me old mucker. Warm tonight, isn't it?
Well, we'll talk about the weather another time, mate. Bit of a hurry.
What was that? It was a crocodile, wasn't it? It's coming straight for us, I can feel it.
This blockade best ends. I'm going land crazy. This dirty puddle won't do.
One would suppose all this was for gold. Or rum, at least.
Nothing but medicines to cure whatever ailments fester aboard their vessels.
Syphilis and scurvy, no doubt. What noxious coffins these pirate ships must be. You seen any crocodiles tonight? I could have sworn I saw something past the boat.
No. Quiet night.
Are you sure? There's something in the water.
Quiet till you showed up. Go on then. Captain.
My God, I'll have your egg!
You're done for, mate!
The birdie man.
Quiet till you showed up. Go on then. Captain's waiting.
Is the ship on fire as well? It is. Man, they are first.
I apologize, sir. There was an accident. Private Simon. This crocodile.
Enough! What's word from the harbor, soldier? Speak!
Sir, they've yet to harm any of the captives, but tempers are flaring. Perhaps it's time to...
To surrender? Never! The town is under my authority. I will not bow to the demands of a pirate.
Yes, sir.
As long as the supply key is with me, no man shall touch that medicine. May plague and calamity strike them all.
Pirates! The ship's here! Pirates!
Fall back! To the mansion! In troops!
Black screen was weird. Doesn't let him get away.
Someone's after the captain!
What's going on?
Well done, boys.
One spark and they'll be scraping us off the walls.
They let the run and fight everybody. Crocodile, 0.
He's going for the captain!
Close the doors! Hurry! Come on!
Cut off any retreat!
really saying none of these have
Not good enough.
any health. Oh no 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 no. Okay. I had to get bugged. Yeah, so many. Maybe this time we can make it a bit safer.
There was an accident. Private Simon. This crocodile.
Enough!
Sir, they've yet to harm...
To surrender? Never! But
yes.
As long as the... Fall back! Stop him!
Run, get away!
My sights! I can't reach the bastard! Someone's after the captain!
Do something, you fool! What's going on?
Really?
Close the gate! What's the case? One spark and they'll be scraping us off the walls. Kill him! Kill him!
Here we go. Jump at the right moment.
He's going for the captain!
Intruder! Help! Block the road! Close the door! Hurry!
Yeah, I was supposed to take this path.
Somebody shoot him! Who the... Fast! I'll cut you in two. Then, I'll break the damn doors open! Oh, God!
It's easier when you do not try to fight versus
Flail, you devils!
the whole city.
Blackbeard made you as good an offer as ever a man got from any pirate. You might curse his methods, but medicine was all he wanted. And now he'll get it. You should have bartered, mate.
He has returned, Captain!
What's it take?
2 crates. And the means for mixing additional doses.
That's right thinking. Precious little of that these days. You hear that, Mr. Rags? My young friend returns with offerings and so saves your scrawny neck. Will you not thank him?
We should quit these waters, Thatch. The governor, he's bound to muster more soldiers.
You go on ahead. I got some business in the north.
You're done, aren't you? Giving up on us. On Nassau.
Look, lad. I'm late into my 4th decade on this earth. And if I don't find some means to make the 5th quiet and cozy voyage, I'd rather sink to the devil's doorstep than call myself captain another year.
Wants a retirement.
Lad, in this world, or the one below.
Oi.
About X5.
Where you going, the market?
No, My parents have asked me to come live with them, and I'd like to.
Oh, what do you mean, live with them? You live here with me.
I'm sorry, Edward, but my father is right. You had a decent wage when you worked the farm. Why can you not be satisfied with that? With me?
Decent wage? That job was near as, damn it, to robbery. You want to be married to a peasant the whole of your life?
All right, Edward. All right.
You leave now, Caroline, you'll never know what's coming to us.
Caroline! Caroline!
We're back at Nassau. We're full.
These pansies wouldn't melt in anything.
Blasted! Watch yourself, knave!
Hey, sorry. What is waiting for us next?
Putting some shape to your sentiments?
Just a short letter home. I reckon she's past caring anyway.
Oh, you're a hard heart that should be softer.
Or soft in parts that should be hard.
And how is it you're so keen for his hard parts, Mr. Rackham?
That is a good question.
You'd like to know my secrets, would you?
Oh, aye. Give me a small hint, like. Or a large one if you're an upright gentleman.
Open your hand.
Oh!
Who's shooting?
Might be them ships sliding into port.
Jesus.
Well, I'll be hanged. King George has grown tired of our shenanigans. Who's the grim fella?
That's Captain Woods Rogers. Not a man I want seeing my face.
We desire a parley with the men who call themselves governors of this island. Charles Vane, Ben Hornigold, and Ed Thatch. Come forth, if you please.
Hear about the king's pardon, I reckon.
What the hell is Hornigold doing?
Lily-livered punk!
What are you men up to? I should stay my blade.
I am
Do not
grateful
get
for your
spotted.
geniality, Captain Hornigold. I assumed our reception would be a troubled one.
Don't mistake my decorum for deference, Governor. I'm eager to hear what you have to say, but of uncertain mind otherwise.
Very well put. And it's a fairer shake than I expected to see from any pirate. But I promise fair treatment to all who hear me out.
Only wait a while longer, Governor Rogers. These rascals will show their true colors in time.
Calm, Commodore Chamberlain. I have given Captain Hornigold my word that we will be equitable.
Won't do you a lick of good. Men like him are a blight on His Majesty's reputation and a peculiar cancer afflicting the New World. The King wants them eradicated, above all else.
Is this the town square?
As close to one as we've ever had.
Incredible. It's no cleaner than a dog's kennel. Captain Hornigold, please call your men.
Rackham, Vane! The governor's come calling. Bring Burgess and Corcoran as well.
Fan out, lads! And take this shanty town as if it were your own.
Rogers called for Rackham and Vane. Anne may know something.
Edward. There you are.
Anne.
Let's have a chat.
This don't
What is
feel
this?
right. Damn. I should be there.
There's more to this Commodore being here than the letting on. He said he had a list of plans.
I should like to see those.
I've actually taken down this fort earlier. Guess we go for it another time.
Anne's right. Something's
If we
brewing.
take the pardon, will you be wanting us to curtsy as well?
No, but it's not customary.
But His Royal Majesty will forgive us all our sins, eh?
By the word of the king, you will be pardoned, yes.
Will he pardon this?
Was he trying to show his ass? Or middle finger? Oh no, we can go up here, right? Really? Guess not. Not what I wanted. Well, let's try a path from here. As you can see, that chest is looted. No, we can take the extra remedy. But here's a path on this side. To this guards and Pubertse. Right. That doesn't. This path go up.
What do you think, lads? You like me golden treasure? A gift for the king like
It's high enough.
no way in, mate. Fight on.
Let's try again. Doesn't like this look. We could climb up and jump to those. Guess not. Ah. There's another door.
That in case any of the said pirates shall on or before the 5th of September, in the year of our Lord 1718, surrender himself to any one of the principal secretaries of state in Great Britain or Ireland, or to any governor or deputy governor of any of our plantations beyond the sea, every such pirate
This won't take long.
or themselves as aforesaid.
I hear voices in there.
Pardon of and for such his or their piracy or piracy by him or
Let's kick him.
committed before the
I'll cave your skull in.
Not today!
No, we were able to assassin Thorg. There's a lot more.
I'll enjoy this.
Why be quiet when okay, aggressive? All four people are enjoying those.
You are.
Yeah, there's the alarm.
Up and over!
I'll cut you to shreds. Cut him off. I'll get you for that.
Well, that hit me, okay. Oh, ho, ho. Hi Mario, how you doing? Try to look out for plans from this castle. They sounded the alarm, so I have to fight more than a couple. It's here. We found the plunge.
I pray you take the prudent course, gentlemen, and accept the king's pardon as soon as your hearts allow. For until such time, all of you will be confined in Nassau.
I am sorry for this.
I don't trust these.
But in lieu of a public trial, this pardon is your best bet.
The governor puts it far too brightly, maggots. Take this message home. Accept the king's protection forthwith, or we will raise this town to its foundation and stretch your bloody necks.
Peace! Commodore Chamberlain, we are messengers, not executioners. Not yet.
Oh, thank you, sir. God save you.
Look on this as a stroke of fortune, lads. We should take the king's pardon and salvage what dignity we own.
Peace. I'll be hanged before I surrender to that bobbin.
Check your head, Vane. We had here a rare opportunity, a chance to take something base and shape it into a government made and maintained by men of vision. But in 2 years, we pissed it away.
You're doing good.
I won't make that mistake
Aiming at
again.
people.
It's truth he's telling, and you whelps can't handle it.
A Jew, you forecastle-headed fuddlers. See you at the gallows.
You'll all be dead men! Bastards!
I'm forced to do story.
I need a drink.
I found...
Sight! Hornigold's dumping us.
I found a lot of... all the treasure chest possible. And then we are out of...
I'll catch
They were not giving me any ultimate plans. So I can't get ship... Can't get the ship any better. Here we are. Main quest.
So Hornigold shows his true colors.
Sod the bastard. He swallowed the governor's tripe like a starving duck. Look at him. Turncoat. Makes me bloody ill to
With yourself offering a deal.
Put up with Hornigold and his self-righteous
Pirates are refuge.
Verily, you are a man of principle, Captain Hornigold. A man I believe I can trust with my best ideas.
Faith, and we'll survive this, Charles, with our pride intact.
That's confidence. You brewed a plan I might get a taste of?
Nassau is over, that's plain to see. I say we skip out tonight and regroup at my compound.
Fair enough. What's your angle?
The Brits have brought their supplies ashore, see? If we nick some gunpowder and pine pitch, we can build a fire ship and send it straight at the blockade, blasting it to smithereens.
Aye. We'll use Rackham's ship. Ain't a capable captain.
3 more days of
Conscience
work
is clear.
for me.
Right. Well, you got the gunpowder.
Feeling a bit
I'll secure the
tired. Hopefully I'll be able to sleep well.
Follow me. I'll show you where to
That was
make the
good.
stuff.
Did Chamberlain just do us a favor and pack all the gunpowder in one place?
He's not that stupid, and we need a lot of it. Let's search their camp, and maybe the roads too. Only Golden Rogers would piss their britches if they knew what we were up to.
Like there's not ultimate ships.
We'd best get
Legendary
on with it.
ships.
Mark the kegs. The crew will come for them.
Aye, but we need more. I'll find the kegs. You get the pine pitch.
For those,
Aye. And Kenway, spill some blood, will ya?
Will do. I remember here was earlier mission.
Prepare to bleed.
You'll pay for that!
Not quite.
You'll have to do better than that.
Bit too close. There's one sword combo that will give you health.
We still need more.
Loathsome scoundrels and my former brethren, hear my word!
How can it be more than the last count? They want to...
There was more.
He's getting away! Ah! There you are! Damn you! Get back here! I'll get you for that.
Ain't nothing here!
Do not shoot while in smoke. It is a death. Note to self. Okay, we are not starting too far off. Are we actually full health here?
Scoundrels and my former brethren, hear my word!
How can it be more than the last count? They multiply.
So you die!
Your last mistake, mate.
No, Mark. We are hidden in the bush. Gunpowder.
Now to find Vane.
Let's look a load. Second try was way better. No accidental death.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not here. There you go, Merman.
Come on, boys, you're lagging.
It's this bloody hemp.
Lagging bush.
Lieutenant! Aye, sir. The Commodore fears a revolt is nigh. His orders are to sink every goddamn pirate ship now anchored in that harbor, tonight.
Swear the governor's wishes, sir.
This is a direct order, soldier. You will take position on the grounded galleon and await the Commodore's further orders. Is that clear?
Aye, sir.
The conniving bastard. Someone ought to slit the Commodore's throat before he gets a chance to bark those orders.
You think so?
We're dead in the water otherwise.
All right, I'll kill him.
Your brains are baked. I won't take no part in killing the Commodore. Not one of the King's men.
We can't risk our good fortune.
Always willing to.
I'll be waiting for you.
Sir, we have information for the Commodore, an urgent matter.
Carry on.
I heard the Commodore ranting and raving about Woods Rogers, calling him a heathen and whatnot. What's happened to set them two off?
Hush, man. You don't want the governor's ire brought down on you. He's a mysterious sort.
Well, I'm much more afraid of the Commodore, in truth. He's a serious chap. No sense of humor.
Tell me where he is.
Between them two, Rogers and Chamberlain. What's the issue?
The Commodore don't think much of civilians, I reckon.
And there's a rumor going round that Rogers is some kind of Jacobite, or worse, that he's a Catholic.
Oh, I could think of worse.
A girl does have a duty of modesty, though. Wouldn't you say?
Oh. Right. They changed the course.
You report to the Commodore. He's inside. I've got to get back.
That weren't our orders. We're both to go in once we check the powder stores.
I know my orders.
They were not here.
That Baldwin girl, they never...
Come here. Okay, now we can investigate. All the clues are upstairs. Easy. Let's get there.
The good Commodore wasted no time settling into the mansion.
No point. The captain sent you out here to waste your time, by the looks of it.
Is there no way to get word to the Commodore?
He's still not here. They've all gone to the beach camp to take care of our rat problem.
The good Commodore thinks we're vermin.
Captain,
Well,
our
hard
meeting
to kill.
must be delayed. I have secured a parley with one of the scoundrels who leads the pirate cabal afflicting our island. I doubt he or his various companions have either the notion of parley or the ability to honor one, however, and in that vein I intend to preempt their treasury. I'm traveling to our camp on the southern beach, where I have arranged a surprise for them. I expect our problem will have been solved by the time this letter reaches you.
If the Commodore's gone to a beach on the south of the island, then something's up.
Let's get rid of the Chamberlain. I did empty this Nassau warehouse not long ago. Don't want to have too many aggressions on me. We do have the blow dart. One sleeps, one is aggressive.
Say hello to the Prince of Darkness!
Mate? Hey, what's going on?
Is he winning that?
Bloody hell!
Seems it's more of a distraction than a killing blow. Perfectly timed. My next victim.
What's that?
He's far enough, so... Let's reach the... That's too aggressive. Random grenade system, okay.
Now you die.
That felt so easy.
The governor's given us a pardon, Commodore. Don't a man's word mean anything in these times?
Has syphilis clouded your mind? Why scratch and claw to protect such squalor? Your parasites feeding off the industry of honest men.
Much like King George in that respect.
Know your place, peasant! You may have taken my life, but you have not improved your own by any measure.
Does some purpose keep you talking?
If not for that
He's a Templar.
Governor Rogers, I'd have seen you hanged from your own cross trees. Worm. All of you.
The Commodore's dead. Are we ready?
We're close. We've got a problem with the galleon. There's a couple of dozen... Bloody hell. You'd raise a cloud here, lout. Oh! You sat on enough gunpowder to blow New Providence off its rocks.
Lay off me, mate. I'm well chafed.
As I was telling you,
He's too
a lot of lobsters has commandeered our galleon. We're gonna have to clear it out before we use them cannons to blow the blockade. That galleon will sink our fire ship before she touches the blockade. I'll hassle him, but you won't have an escort.
We'll make do.
And Kenway, my boys will keep us steady. Give them a shout before you torch the thing, all right?
Aye.
Steady with that powder. You'll blow us all to hell.
Time to destroy a blockade.
Have you ever taken a turn at the wheel?
Not quite. But I do like giving the boys an earful.
Then you'd be a natural.
Edward, I hate saying it, but Nassau's done for. The old spirit is gone and only threats remain. I'd like to be on the next ship out.
Are you certain? The Navy will be close at heel.
Right now, there's no place I'd rather be.
I appreciate the show of faith. Welcome aboard. Get them aloft, let's go! Loose and trim tight, ride the wind!
Party like!
Where is this blockade?
So that's why Rackham was kicking up a fuss. It's his bloody ship you boys had filled with powder.
Aye. We'll have the fire ship sail right into the blockade. Rackham's done us a service.
I'm not sure he'll see it that way.
Loose all sail!
Supposed to defend this boat.
Last Brits are on to us! Look there!
Waste a good shot.
More ships coming!
There's the bridge.
Trim as near the wind as you dare.
Loose all! Let's move! Loose that fire ship is in position. We're clear to fire, Captain.
The fire ship's upon them! Set it aflame!
Shoot what?
Fire!
Any closer! I'm hearing fire to cinders!
Raise, lads! Kick off now before she blows!
We'll have to hold fast till it torches the blockade. The fire ship's about to blow. Steer clear, Captain!
That was a nice.
Full sail! No pressure, eh, can we? Euphobia comes natural to us.
We ain't out of this
That
yet.
went well. Supposed to escape.
Ready powder!
What about it?
A mighty
Stay up.
Burn, you bastards! They're burning up your ass, governor!
prancing about like they took a prize.
No more Nassau. That didn't last long. Back to our own island.
Oh, hi, kid. You missed quite a time.
Aye. Pity about Nassau and Blackbeard flying the coop.
Oh, we'll see about Thatch.
Vane's off to see him now, and I'm following soon.
This is what's left of your experiment in democracy.
Aye. We do as we please here, and we take our time doing it.
For Christ's sake, Edward. Don't anything but the stink of riches wrinkle your nose.
What's got into you, man?
Reality, mate. Reality. See that you ain't pulled into the drink by this drowning rat.
Oi! I've lived longer than most men who trod this path.
It was a
Is it
damn
look enough?
shame to see the end of Nassau. But I'm glad we got out while we could.
So much for our republic. Everyone is scattered and pirate hunters nip at our heels. But the Navy won't find this little hideout. We could build something here.
We'll need time. Plenty of good men were lost. Some hunted down by our own. Hornigold and his lot have been busy.
Bastards. To think we once called them brothers.
And what of Kid? The lad has a sharp tongue, but he means well.
I should see him. No telling when he'll head off.
Good Captain. I have been awaiting your return. Excellent job putting an end to that British pretender. You have all the riches and glory you need, of course. Still, I can always use your help when you're willing. Good Captain, better friend. Come. I was just headed to the alehouse. Well, it's more of an ale counter, isn't it?
Oh, both of these NPCs are going to the same place.
Not a who, but a what. Aboard the HMS Courage are some papers that implicate legitimate businessmen like myself in, shall we say, illicit.
Okay, we will have a talk with the Dutchman.
I'll admit, when put up against Nassau, this is a sorry sight.
And you think Blackbeard coming here will change things?
We'll be the terror of every captain, merchant or navy.
Try to resurrect Nassau and you'll lose her all over again. There's not enough of us left.
We know who our enemies are now. Things will be different this time.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Shall we say, illicit activities? Obvious slander and lies. They only seek to sully the good name of my company.
We can't have that.
No, no, no. We can't have that at all. Shall I leave it to you, Captain?
2,400. The HMS Courage is carrying documents that would implicate legitimate businessmen such as myself in unlawful activities. The documents are, of course, false, but they should be destroyed nonetheless. I trust I can leave this delicate matter in your hands.
I'll take care of it.
I knew you wouldn't leave me in the lurch for too long.
Quite far away.
Catch the lies that besmirch a good name.
I think this is a good time to end. We did get the Crimson Cloak. Oh, they just started. Damn it. How many of you remember they did add the Halo to Game Pass? Yeah, people have been playing it. Anybody else want to play? Original Halo, just remastered. That's gonna be fun. But what I was trying to tell you about is Helisas. In this game, there's no map. You just have to remember where everything is. It's another interesting. But first, I do need to finish this and the Kingdom Come Deliverance to go mix up more games. But two new games that are interesting. Which is always good. Let's go to Dop. He's having a fun time in this game. I'm not sure, are they further into the story than me or not? But soon you'll see. Thank you, chat. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope you have a great rest of the night. Tomorrow, more of this main story.